All right, this is part 2. So as I was saying, with that 2 of Wands energy, this is Chris Brown and I think it's Jack Harlow, psychic. You could be a reader like me. This person could think that you're psychic. I can't remember if I mentioned in the last part, but there's something really significant about listening to your intuition, trusting your inner knowing, okay? Especially about this situation. In order to regain hope in something that you knew was for you, even if you went towards something else in order to close out a cycle, okay? With the Queen of Pentacles being one of the only cards out to give an indication of what this is about, I feel like both this masculine and feminine energy, if we're just talking about you mastering your divine masculine and divine feminine energy, you are in the Queen of Pentacles energy. So you could be a single parent. You could be healing parental wounds with that coming out. Could be an indication. But with the Queen of Pentacles coming out, whoever you are, like what I was mentioning earlier, this time has been about you mastering discipline, especially when it comes to your finances and taking care of yourself. So this alone time has not been for naught, is what they just said. So that Queen of Pentacles energy is going to be a parental figure energy, being able to take care of more than just yourself in a healthy way, not in a codependent way where people are relying on you to take care of them, okay? But this is also an energy of being extremely nurturing, grounded, independent as well. With it coming out with the 4 of Pentacles as well as the Magician and the 3 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles energy, it can be an indication that root work needs to be done. But with it coming in inverted, I feel like the indication that I'm getting is that you are scared of losing something that you have manifested. The Magician coming out gives me the indication that you are in a very masterful energy when it comes to manifesting things in a positive way towards you. You've been very good at that. And for that reason is why you are in this Queen of Pentacles energy. This very grounding and nurturing energy. Okay, again, kids could be relevant. Really not sure. There is somebody wanting to come towards this collective and collaborate with you. And I feel like whatever this is endgame, okay? With that 4 of Pentacles energy, I just really feel like this obsessive energy when it comes to being scared of losing your footing, losing all the things that you manifested in your life. And the divine really wants you to know that that is just your fear talking. That's just your ego talking, okay? And that's just your past talking. That is part of this root work that you have needed to be doing in the meantime, okay, during this separation. Part of that is realizing that those fears stem from your childhood. Those fears stem from things that were completely out of your control. So, like I was talking about earlier, OCD could be really important. And that could be... What song is this? It's Luke Combs. The other guy. Somebody's really sad, okay? This is definitely somebody, like, could be from a past life. I just keep hearing that things never took off the ground. So, somebody could be, like, looking at you, looking at the life that you're showing to people with this song especially, and like what he says, it's like this, she comes up to him and it's like, look at you, look at all these things that you're doing, you look great, you know. And he's like, yeah, but you should see the other guy, the guy that's waiting on you, the guy that is at home crying over you. So there's something about this person putting on a face that they're just doing amazing, but internally they are really struggling with the loss of you, with the lack of you, is what I'm hearing. And now they're pointing me to that 4 of Pentacles energy. So that's the energy. This person or you are really struggling with the lack of somebody, and you're in a lack of mindset when it comes to thinking because it hasn't happened yet that it wasn't meant for you. But okay, so what happened was one of the guys at work, he was making actually a very dark joke. Dark humor, sometimes my favorite. But he was saying how it's ironic that the place that he had his first job, okay, has turned into an institute for mental health. And I won't necessarily explain why that's ironic, but what I heard immediately after was yes, because our soul doesn't necessarily know what timeline we are in. They just know that something or someone is going to be important. So sometimes we'll get introduced to something before it is that thing, before it's ready, okay? And this is almost, it's a saying that I've heard for a long time. It's like God will put you in a room to introduce you to things that are yet to come, okay? And to basically show you what is to come before it's time, so that you can get ready and so that you can get prepared for those things. So essentially, you could have met this person before it was time. And that could have actually been really hard for you, because it was like you felt this pull to this person and you weren't sure why. But you knew that that was your end game. You knew that that was the person that you wanted to end up with, even though neither of you was ready for that. So what you need to remember is that this time apart, this separation period that you have been experiencing, I believe this is Fora. So I lied. This is actually Avril Lavigne, and it's the song Head Above Water. I've got to keep the calm before the storm, which is really funny because what she's about to talk about, okay, is basically keeping herself constantly on guard. I boarded the windows and the doors. So whoever you guys are, you have essentially kept yourself, I'm hearing in like Queen of Swords, King of Swords energy, very strong boundaries. And part of this was, I mean, it's obviously, especially with that Nine of Wands coming out. So if you look, again, scattered energy, really got to ground yourself. So in this deck, the Nine of Wands shows you like a ladder or stairs going up, okay? So using those wands in order to move up. These wands that you have collected, these life lessons, these things that seemed impossible to get over, what they were stepping stones in order to get you to your final destination, okay? So, and with this coming out with the Eight of Cups as well, you are walking away from this guarded energy and you're walking into the unknown towards this, letting these things that have burdened you go before you enter into burnout, walking away from this guardedness of your heart, okay? I feel like I mentioned earlier, there's really significant energy behind learning how to properly purge emotions. And you can do that creatively through like art, music, expressing yourself, poetry, different forms of artwork, watching shows or movies that you know will make you emotional, listening to music or creating music that you know will make you emotional, okay? But there's a really big emphasis and necessity behind purging emotions that are sticking with you. Because when those emotions stick with you, you end up repeating lessons that aren't necessary because, okay, so I'm hearing like attracts like, but what they're meaning behind that is when you're holding on to this energy, you are going to attract that similar energy because it's still within you, okay? Keep it all together. Stop bundling all this stuff together and using it. Yes, it's important to protect yourself, but this collective really needs to learn how to walk away from this energy of being too on guard, because part of the problem and the reason that this didn't come together is because this person was nervous as hell to approach whoever I'm speaking to or about, because you are such a guarded person. Go ahead and go to the next part.